Hi everyone, this is Dr. S.M. Bajio. Today we are going to see about New Criticism. New Criticism era is 1940 to 1960. It appeared as a reaction towards biographical and traditional historical criticism, which was focused on extra text materials such as the biography of the author. We discuss new criticism into two ways: new criticism as a literary theory and as a way to reading text. Of new criticism, see a complete work of art. So, text it is an example to validate our interpretation, source to analyze and get true meaning. Intentionally fallacy term used in 20th century literary criticism to describe the problem inherent in trying to judge a work of art by assuming the intent of purpose of the artist who created it. Affective fallacy, according to the followers of new criticism, the misconception that arises from judging a poem by the emotional effect that is produced in the reader. The concept of affective fallacy is directed attack on impersonation criticism, which argues that the reader response to a poem is ultimate indication of its value. The close reading. The only way we can know if a given author's intention or a given reader interpretation, which actually represent the true meaning, is by carefully examining. For NC, the complexity of a text is created by the multiple and often conflicting meaning in it. These meaning as a product primarily of four kinds of linguistic devices: paradox, ambiguity, irony, and tension. So these four things, which you can see, it represents the linguistic devices, which we can also clearly see about paradox, ambiguity, and irony and tension. So first, ambiguity. It occurs when a word, image, or event generates two or more different meaning. Example: thanks for dinner. I have never seen potatoes cooked like that before. So John Baldwin in the film Sleepless in Seattle 1993, he describes about this how the ambiguity expresses that image with difference of two things. Either you can take that the potato is never been cooked, or the potato is well cooked. So this is called ambiguity. Paradox. Paradox, it typically rises from false assumption, which then leads to inconsciousness between observed and expected behavior. Example: someday you will be old enough to start reading fairy tales again. C.S. Lewis to his cold child Lucy Barfield, to whom he dedicates The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So irony, a figure of speech in which words are used in such a way that their intended meaning is different from the actual meaning of the word. Once in the winter, the rector would come to dine, and her husband would beg her to go to the list and see that no divorces were included, except those who had shown signs of penitence of being remarried. So this is how the irony works. So someone genuinely believed that distraction drivers with a pointless sign would create safer roads. So thank you for driving carefully through the village. So the accident car is being kept with this board sign, thank you for driving carefully through the village. So this is how the irony works. So next, tension, a state of mental or emotional strain or suspense, or when there is suspense in the story. So, how can new criticism help us understand the text? New criticism is a powerful tool for those of us that have problems understanding a work of literature. New criticism formulates a method of reading, a simple formula that will help us to unlock the meaning of a text. How do we discover or unlock the meaning? By following a simple formula: who is speaking in the text, not the author, not the poet. However, whatever created the text, but it is created by the text itself. Who is being spoken to, or who is the addressee, or who is the implied reader of the text? Where is the setting, when it is, what is the central metaphors of the text? So, the importance of metaphor in a literature text, new criticism point out that it is not only because of what it is being talking about, it is always something else. There is always something other than the literary meaning of the text. Metaphors is what makes literature language different from the ordinary language. Those are called formal elements of a text: image, symbol, metaphor, rhyme, meta, point of view, setting, characterization, and plot. So, for Clinton Points Illustrates, new criticism asked us to look closely at the formal element of the text to help us discover the poem theme and to express in the way which those formal elements establish it. New criticism believe they allow the literary work itself to provide the content within which we interpret and evaluate. Other meaning of the word found in Webner's New Universal Unabridged Dictionary include a rude or vulgar, a quarrelsome woman, and a threatening beggar. Although most of the words can be found to have more than dictionary definition, a word ambiguity is determined not only by the dictionary but the context of the poem as whole, in terms of which allow the word meaning or meaning by the judge. The summary: sometimes new criticism did believe that the text warned a discussion of psychological, sociological, and philosophical elements because those elements were obviously integral to the work's characterization or plot. New criticism, also called the approaches objective criticism, because they focus on each text own formula element, ensured the claim that each text, each objective being interpreted, would itself dedicate how it be interpreted. Thank you.